Are you an overwhelmed SaaS founder ready to make the leap from leading a team to leading an organization? Join us each week as we refill your think tank with actionable tips and strategies from great business minds you know and those you don't know yet. This is SaaS Fuel with your host, 5-time entrepreneur, SaaS founder, and globetrotting adventurer, Jeff Maines.
Welcome back to the SaaS Fuel podcast, where we don't need more motivational posters, we just need more coffee. I'm your host, Jeff Maines. I help B2B SaaS founders like you create premium valuation, capital efficient growth, and freedom so that you build a business that you're proud of and create a life of impact that you love. Connection is one of my favorite things. And last week I ran a live mastermind event in Austin. It was a lot of fun and I met some amazing founders. AI, of course, was a hot topic. It always is. There's a big difference between those who use AI for marketing and just the terminology because it's really popular, and those who are actually building deep solutions using AI. And I was really blown away at some of the use cases that I saw there with AI. Intelligent security was one of the big ones. Identifying bot from human content. I thought that was a great way to do that. It's pretty amazing what they're doing in making that happen. Warehouse management, just-in-time delivery, education solutions, healthcare, some really amazing ideas. And I love seeing that technology used in ways that benefit society. There's some bad press out there about AI is going to take over the world and that kind of thing, but how founders are using it to make our world a better place. Now, I'm at the Ascent conference today, 700 or so exceptional SaaS founders talking about what's working well in their business, networking, connecting, and doing business. So if you're here, I'd love to say hello and meet you. I'll be recording some mini episodes of SaaS Fuel with founders here as well. It's really powerful to be around other entrepreneurs doing incredible things and discussing ideas and what's next. And most importantly, I think, is just learning how other people think. That's one of my favorite things, and this is definitely a place to do that. Today's episode is sponsored by FounderPath. If you want to scale up, you need capital to do it. You could raise and give up big chunks of equity for a few bucks, or you could do what the smartest founders do, and that begins with FounderPath. Get non-dilutive capital in 24 hours or less with no personal guarantee, no crazy fees, and super generous payback times. It's a real game changer for founders. It is exactly what SaaS founders need, and the process is unbelievably easy. And we've negotiated some special perks as a SaaS Fuel listener. Just visit our site at saasfuel.com. There's a special link right there on the page or in the main menu up there under resources that says Get SaaS Funding. So get the funding you need and keep the equity that you deserve with FounderPath. It's awesome stuff. Well, our expert guest last week was Ryan Rude, founder and CEO of Lake One Digital, and the feedback has been amazing about that episode. They team up with B2B brands to build and optimize revenue systems by developing laser-focused strategies to reach their buyers and align sales and marketing tech stacks. And that alignment leads to profits. It's a really great episode. Our founder guest on Tuesday was Brandon Metcalf, multi-time founder, investor, and advisor, founder and CEO of Place Technology. It's a solution that is built for SaaS companies, and it unites subscriptions, RevOps, and billing with forecasting, cash management, and business analytics. This guy is such a wealth of knowledge. It was another great episode. If you missed either one of those, go back and give him a listen. Well, my guest this week is Dennis Kelly, CEO of Postalytics. It's a fast-growing direct mail automation software company. Postalytics helps marketers do more in less time with streamlined production, integration of the marketing tech stack, and real-time direct mail campaign analytics. So there you go, Postalytics. Postalytics is Dennis's sixth startup. That's 6. That's pretty good. He's been involved in starting and growing early-stage technology ventures for over 30 years. So welcome someone who has been there, done that, and is doing it again. Dennis Kelly. Hey, Dennis, welcome to SaaS Fuel.
Jeff, thanks so much for having me today.
Well, I'd love to hear a little bit about your background. 30 years in tech, 6 companies. What has that journey been like for you?
Well, it's been a journey, for sure. When somebody's been doing something for 30 years, it means they're not young. And also that there's been a lot of ups and downs and excitement and disappointment along the way. And I could tell you that I wouldn't change it for anything. It's what I truly love to do. And I feel very blessed and fortunate that I've been able to have this type of career.
That's fantastic. Well, tell me about current business, Postalytics.
Yes, absolutely. So Postalytics is what we call a direct mail automation platform. And so sometimes people see those words together, direct mail automation, and they think, what? Like that's kind of an oxymoron. And
right.
So a little bit intentional, but essentially what we are doing is we're taking an older school marketing channel, direct mail marketing, been around forever since the Montgomery Ward catalog in the 1880s, that this guy, Montgomery Ward, had a department store in Chicago. He invented the whole concept. And so it's been around for a long time. But, with the rise of email and digital marketing in the last 20 years, direct mail has sort of left the mainstream as sort of a centerpiece of marketing, at least in the minds of a lot of marketers, a lot of business people. However, what's happened over time is that it's actually gotten more effective as there's less mail every single day in your mailbox. So if you think about 20 years ago, you used to get all your bills through the mail.
Right.
You used to get a lot of personal correspondence through the mail. And you'd get direct mail marketing, and a lot of it wasn't very good. It was kind of spray and pray and, bulk mailers and not personalized at all. And so, but what's happened over time as the bills have stopped showing up in your mail, you're doing it online, as your correspondence is going through social media and email, there's a lot less competition in the mailbox. And so at the same time, the technology to present to you a better experience in postcards and letters and various types of mail pieces has improved. And so what Postalytics is doing is saying, hey, there's this effective marketing channel out there that a lot of folks aren't really thinking about as much. Let's apply some tech. Let's apply some software and make this look and act and feel like a digital marketing channel for the marketer themselves. So that means, making it a fast and easy process, get rid of the complexity, integrate it with the core marketing tech systems that marketers are investing in all over the place. And then third, give some analytics, help marketers understand exactly what happens after they send these campaigns. And so that's really the story behind Postalytics. We're taking an old school marketing channel, applying new age digital marketing principles to it, and making it relevant once again.
I think that's really interesting. One of the questions I think is, does mail still work? Do people still get mail? And I think you answered that in that it's completely true that we don't get near as much junk as we used to.
Exactly.
Less competitive.
So the amount of first-class mail sent by the USPS has dropped 30% since 2008. And so first-class mail is typically what you get when you're sending something with a stamp, or you are getting a bill or a statement from your credit card company or whatever the case may be. So that has dropped. So you go to your mailbox every day, you touch every single thing, you look at it, you decide what to do with it.
Right.
Answer this question. Do you open every email that you get and look at it and think about what you're going to do with it? Or do you just kind of mass delete some things every day?
I definitely mass delete. Yes.
Yeah. So with that opportunity to put your message in front of somebody, it's going to be read. Your brand will be recognized when you send a marketing message out through the mail. And so if we make it fast and easy and integrated and understood and analyzed, then it's worth a shot. It's worth trying, because what we're seeing is email open rates are declining over the last 10 years, while at the same time, the cost of digital and social ads is increasing. So marketers are kind of stuck. They're like, all right, well, what are some other channels we can leverage? And we're saying, hey, you've got all this automation set up, your marketing automation tools, plug Postalytics in, and we'll automate direct mail to go out to complement your email and your digital marketing. It's not a replacement by any means. It's a way of adding a physical touch to an integrated campaign that uses lots of channels.
I think that's really interesting, especially the name in Postalytics. Analytics is a real key piece to any marketing campaign to be able to measure to attribution. Is it working? Am I getting responses? Are they good responses? Are they converting? Those types of questions. So how have you been able to capture that kind of data and be able to pass that on for marketing intel?
It's a great question. And it's really some of the secret sauce that we've brought to the table here. So there are two big components. The first is the deliverability of your campaign. Are those mail pieces actually getting to the people that you're targeting? And so what we've done is to create an integration with a very little known tool that the USPS offers called the Intelligent Mail Barcode. And so when you get a piece of mail from a commercial printer that's in any type of volume, there's a little barcode printed on that mail.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And so the reason why that appears there is that the post office says, hey, we'll give you a little bit of a discount on postage if you print this barcode so that we can track that mail through a barcode scanner as it moves through the USPS distribution system. So it's really designed as an internal process for the post office. And then they said, hey, guys, we'll make this data available so that you can work with it and understand kind of where your mail is. And so what we've done is we've taken that data, distilled it down into a dashboard. So when you send a campaign as a marketer, you can see, okay, my mail's in the printing process. My mail's just been handed off to the post office. It's in transit now in between distribution facilities. Oh, now it's arrived at the local post office and now it's been delivered. And so that barcode gets scanned along the way. You see that visually and you can sync that data back into your email marketing system, your marketing automation tools, so that you can time the delivery of other messaging around the delivery of your mail. Right. So that deliverability, who's getting the mail and when, is super important. Number two, we've created a patented system of generating a unique QR code for each piece of mail. So you're probably aware QR code usage has blown up since the pandemic, right? So everybody's using QR codes now. And it's a perfect opportunity to move somebody from a physical piece of, in this case, mail or any other type of printed material, right, into an online experience. So Jeff, you get this postcard. Let's say you've just moved and a dentist is saying, hey, get a free teeth cleaning if you sign up with us. You hit that QR code. Okay. You hop onto their website. Postalytics and the dentist marketer that sent that knows, hey, this is Jeff from this particular postcard from this campaign. Here's where he's gone online. He hit the conversion goal. He filled out the form, right? All of that data is being captured. So there's deliverability and then response data that is being captured inside of Postalytics in an all-in-one solution. So if you think about it, if you've done email marketing, it kind of works the same way, right? You're tracking the deliveries, the bounces. In this case, you're tracking the deliveries, the return to senders. They're all tracked. And then you see who's clicked, right? And what they've done. So we've kind of created an email marketing experience for a printed and mailed set of marketing messages.
I like that you're really bridging the physical and the digital but you still have that unique identifier. So it's not just, somebody out there landed on the web page or called, this particular number. It's really attribution down to the individual. And so, so you've pixeled them.
Exactly. And since we were exposing it through our integrations and our API, your other channels are now then knowledgeable, right? So, you got HubSpot or Marketo or
That's
Salesforce.
Fantastic.
Hey, I know inside of Salesforce, Jeff hit that QR code and here's where he went. And so that can then inform other automations or the sales team or, whatever type of workflow you want to drive off of that knowledge, right? All of that data is being exchanged between our systems.
And that's where marketing becomes even more relevant because you're presenting information or giving them what they want, not just randomly guessing or hoping. It's not a shotgun approach. You're really giving them exactly what they're looking for, and you're able to serve them better.
That's right. And to that point, in the old days, because of the kind of economics of printing, direct mail was thought to be this big batch process where it kind of wasn't really worthwhile unless you kind of had a list of 10,000 people you're going to mail to, right? You think about it, there's all this setup and work that has to happen at the printing press and, a lot of manual steps. Well, what we do, we let you send one piece of mail out that's fully personalized, that it has rates that are being charged that are similar to rates if you're sending a huge amount of mail, because we'll take that one triggered letter, thank you note from the CEO, and we're going to bundle it together with lots of other letters from lots of other customers in the printing and mailing process. So
that makes sense.
We get the advantage of the economies of scale that kind of 10,000 piece batch process had in the old days, but we give you the ability to individualize, personalized, triggered direct mail pieces that speak to you directly at the right time of the customer relationship. And so it's a big innovation there, that ability to just trigger a single piece of mail from a workflow inside of your marketing automation tool.
And that makes a lot of sense. It's interesting you bring up, when people think about direct mail, a lot of times the first thing they do think is marketing. And so it's, that is a use case. It's a great use case. But it's not just marketing. Like you said, thank you note from the CEO. Make things like this part of your client journey, that experience. And so it's not just for marketing. There's a lot of other use cases for direct mail and having that physical touch.
That's right. And, kind of going back to that discussion around the economics and those big batches, direct mail has always been thought of as kind of a top of the funnel lead acquisition type of channel. And tools like Postalytics are making direct mail a very effective tool for the entire customer lifecycle. So mid-funnel, late funnel, post-sale, retention, win-back, all sorts of different concepts where, you're using different communication channels. You can plug direct mail in and add that physical touch as a part of your overall, multi-channel or omni-channel strategy to communicate a great customer experience. And so it's not just about top of the funnel and lead generation anymore.
Yeah, that's really good. Where have the challenges been in taking something that's a legacy technology and bringing it into the digital age?
Sure. So I guess there's really, from a perception standpoint, there are a couple of things out there. There are people that have done direct mail in the past, and they've done it kind of the old-fashioned way, and so helping them to understand that there is now kind of a more modern, smart, savvy way to do this is number one, like getting the awareness that this even exists for those that are kind of accustomed to direct mail. And then number two is talking to marketers that have never really even considered direct mail. A lot of particularly younger marketers are, they grew up as digital natives and that's really their entire frame of reference. They don't really think about kind of older school marketing channels. So reaching that audience and helping them understand, hey, you can do this. It's effective. It's not painful. We've taken the complexity out of it. And so those are really kind of the two challenges from a brand awareness standpoint for us. And then there's lots of challenges scaling up a business that requires that physical process of printing and mailing, right? So we go out and we vet commercial printers, and we do a lot of work to establish rock solid integrations with them, so that all this stuff just comes off flawlessly, like it would if you're sending an email campaign. You can sort of think of our print partners as almost the email servers of an email marketing system, right? And so a lot of work goes into scaling that up over time.
It's a brilliant concept as well, that you're partnering with those to actually do the print production, rather than try and build out all of the infrastructure yourself. I mean, just from the logistics of delivering from one side of the country to another, makes so much sense to have that and be able to outsource that and use other people's assets to deliver that.
Yes. And these print companies are great. They're great partners. They're experts at what they do. And why reinvent the wheel? Number one. Number two, think about this from a carbon footprint standpoint. If we're able to route mail that is going to be delivered in California to a printer that is nearby, right, all electronically, think about like the cost it would take to get a piece of mail from Boston to LA, right, and the time, the carbon that is associated with that transport. We're able to rip that out and just electronically route mail to print partners that are close to the destination of the mail itself.
And that helps just with delivery as well. You don't have multiple day delays from the time you have a drop to the time it's actually delivered to your prospect or your customer.
Exactly. You got it.
So how has it been building out the sales arm for the organization? What kind of challenges have you had there? What's been your experience?
Yeah, great question. And this is something that, we're continually investing and growing in. So when we started Postalytics, we decided we're going to really begin with what we call a product-led growth model, right? Where we're going to give a free account and let marketers sign up and use the software for free, and then engage with a sales rep as they are thinking about scaling up their usage. And so that's been kind of the real fundamental component of our sales strategy from the beginning. And so we built a lot of technology, a lot of workflows around that process. So when you sign up for a free account with Postalytics, you can self-serve, you can, take your time working through the software. And then our sales team is there to assist. It's much less of a, hey, I got something I got to sell you. It's more of a, hey, this is a sales assist in a product-led growth strategy. And so that's been very successful. Over time, what we found is there's a kind of tier of small business to kind of mid-market companies that really like that model, and they'll engage on their own and then engage with our sales team as they start to scale things up. Well, we're starting to get pulled into bigger sales opportunities where companies say, hey, I love the fact you have a free trial, but that's not how we buy things, right? Right. So what we're doing now is we're building out a much more robust sales team and processes to support that more traditional sales process. So we've got kind of that base layer of PLG or product-led growth, and now we're building out another layer to deal with companies that really want to work with a sales advisor from the beginning to walk through the process through a more complex and lengthy sales cycle.
I like that. A lot of the most successful product-led growth strategies I've seen are that way, where it's not just throw it out there and hope that people sign up and try, but it is more of a sales assisted. So it's not necessarily driven by sales, but it's not just leaving people on their own to hopefully figure it out and find some value. But they're actually led through that, which is supported, which I think is a great concept. Did you find it challenging working with different levels? So you mentioned small business, mid-market, and enterprise. Just the challenges, the nuances of serving one market versus another, and how'd you handle that?
Very much. In the beginning, we didn't really have any concept of how we were going to segment the market, and in particular, segment the people coming into that free account. Kind of our PLG flow. They would all come in. We didn't really think about what are the tools we can put in place to help us better understand, the right flow for the individual users coming in.
That's a common place to start. Yeah. As you know, it's just, we put it out there and we have people come in, and now what do we do with them? How do we figure out how to serve them? Exactly.
Yeah. So, that first year was really about really digging in, discovering, right? What are the patterns? What are the types of segments that we're seeing in here? And then how can we help the customer signal to us, hey, I'm probably this type of organization, and here's the best way that Postalytics can help me as I'm evaluating whether I want to use this thing or not. And so what we've ended up doing is adding kind of survey questions to the onboarding process. That as the customer's signing up, we get some information that helps to route them to an automated workflow we've set up in our own marketing automation. And then we've got some distinct segments that we've created around size of the opportunity, around geography. So, for example, we're now in Canada, and we have somebody focused on growing the Canadian market. We have people that are focused on different verticals. Like we have an agency-specific version of Postalytics. So if you're a marketing agency, you want to send direct mail, you can use Postalytics to do that on a white label basis. We have people that are experts in the real estate marketing world, the nonprofit marketing world. So as we learn more about these free accounts, we try to route them to some workflows that, give them the best chance of engaging with us in a meaningful way with conversations that are relevant to them. And so, if we can add value to your experience through this type of segmentation, then I think we've done our job. And from there, it's a great relationship.
With all those different segments and marketing channels, are you connected with other systems via API, or how do you exchange data?
Yeah. So we have a very robust set of APIs around Postalytics. I mentioned before, if you're a user, and you're using Salesforce or HubSpot or Marketo or any of these tools, we've got a lot of integration there. But on the back end, we've done a lot of engineering as well, so that, when you sign up for a free account, we've got an integration to our CRM. So we're capturing the information that you are sharing upon your free account sign up. And then we're monitoring your usage as well, so that, our CRM is aware that, hey, Jeff has uploaded a list, or he's working on a creative postcard, and how can we best assist at this step of the customer journey? So that's been a ton of work, and it's ongoing too. Like, we're trying to get better at that every single day, as you can imagine.
Sure. So is that something that you envisioned at the beginning, or is that something that developed over time as you started seeing how people were using the system?
I think we had a pretty good idea in the beginning that we wanted to go in that direction. But when it was 5 of us, there was a lot of resources to pull that type of work off, right? So as we've grown the business, we've been able to, add resources and teams that have expertise to help us kind of build that out. And we're not there yet either. Like, we feel like we have a long way to go, which is part of what makes this exciting. And I think it's one of the fun things about tech. It's one of the fun things about software. There's always a little bit more you could be doing. And so we think we're a long way from having this thing really fully built out and thought through.
I think it's really smart that you really thought about that from the beginning and tracking those metrics. So really it's success. So when somebody signs up, what are the steps they need to take in order to really use the system, get value, and move up the value chain? And do you also have metrics that maybe look at people who might churn or have stopped using or slowed down?
That's right. Yes, and that's been an area of investment for us in the last 2 years. We brought on a client success team, and we've been building out that function. And so now we have software and people who are really drilling into each of our customers and their user journey and their usage levels. And so that's an area of big investment for us. If you think about our model, we really don't make money unless you're sending mail. So, our success is tied to your usage. And so it's in our interest to help you be successful, to help you find use cases that matter, that where the product is really moving the needle for you. So with that as kind of a usage-based pricing model, that investment in client success is, I think, a super important part of our long-term strategy and how we're going to be able to scale this, for years.
Yeah, usage-based pricing is I think definitely the future. We've seen it, kind of take off over the last few years. I've been doing it in my SaaS company for a long time. I love that your goals and the client goals are aligned. So if they don't have success, if they're not using the tool and getting value from it, then you're not making money. But when they are, then everybody is happy and you're building a great company and making money.
That's right. And so while it's probably harder in the beginning to build your business that way, I think that it's such a solid foundation of a business. And if it's a part of the DNA of that foundation that you build, then I believe, and I think we're seeing that it sets you up for long-term success.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, that alignment is so good. So any scary moments along the journey in this company or previous?
Yes. Yes.
I've never had anybody say, no, it's been smooth sailing all the time.
So a little story. Postalytics is actually a pivot from an initial effort in the direct mail space that my partner, Alec Graziano, who's our CTO, he and I had started off in the direct mail space with a different product that was really focused on, we were selling to I would call it the incumbent or legacy direct mail industry. So the folks like the print companies and others that are heavily involved in direct mail. And we invested in this, and a lot of the tech that we brought forward into Postalytics came from that original product, because we're like this response tracking and the QR codes and that kind of thing. So we got that out in the market, started to ramp up, saw some early success, but we're having trouble scaling it. And, the sales cycle was way longer than kind of the business model that we constructed around it. And it was requiring lots of professional services to get a client onboarded and up and running. And it didn't really match the type of business that we wanted to build. So after a couple of years, we were just looking at it and just saying, you know what? If it's hard to sell something in the tech business, in the software world, there's something wrong, right? And so we decided, I think we got some good tech. Maybe we're selling to the wrong audience. Maybe it's an audience that they're just not ready to embrace this type of technology. So we decided to stop what we were doing. We had to lay some people off, great people, very hard to do. Take a year and revamp our approach, revamp our software. We came up with a new name, completely new go-to-market strategy. And that's what was really the driver behind the creation of Postalytics, is I wouldn't call it a failure of that first product, but the lack of success of that first product was the thing that drove us to make that pivot and point in this direction. And so that was tough. It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to lay off people that are great. It's a hard thing to stop the thing that you've been down in the weeds and investing in, for a couple of years, and take a step back and just say, you know what, at a high level, there's something fundamentally wrong that we got to fix. So, tough stuff.
Yes. I love the story behind the story. And I think that's a lot more common than many people realize, is that there's a lot more to building a company. When do you know when to stick, when to stop, or when to pivot?
It's the hardest thing, right? It's the hardest thing to know. And, in retrospect, you can always second guess yourself. I look back and think, why didn't I see this in the first year, right? I
do it too. Yeah.
But, if you've got a growth mindset and you are thinking, well, this didn't work, let's try this. That didn't work, let's try this, right? And you've got that going on in multiple channels at the same time. Take a different tact in marketing, take a different tact in sales, try this from a product standpoint, right? You're testing, you're evaluating. It's hard to say until you've done that for a little while. You've done some A/B testing in various areas of the business. It's hard to say, well, is there really something fundamentally wrong, or you just missed something, right? And we're going to discover that. So, I think because of that, it's the hardest thing to do, to say, you know what, we got to stop. We got to pivot and do something completely different.
Yeah.
So I wish I'd made the call earlier. Would have saved a lot of time and money, and we'd be further along now. But I feel like we gave that original business a good run, we made a good effort around it, and then just kind of got to that realization that we had to make a fundamental change.
So you've been successful in the for-profit world, 6 companies, but also nonprofits are something, business is about more than just making money. Tell me about Homestar.
Yeah. So Homestar is an incredible organization with incredible people. And what they have done is that they have figured out that so much homelessness is preventable. And they've figured out a model to intervene before a family reaches the homeless state. And so there's incredible numbers that the organization has learned over time, some incredible metrics. When Homestar intervenes before a person or a family falls into homelessness, 88% of the time, they stay out of homelessness for the remainder of their lives.
Wow.
When Homestar does not intervene, that number is 5%. And so the cost of homelessness on our society is massive. It disrupts families. It gives kids very little chance of success. And then just the financial burden from a state standpoint, it's primarily state resources that are going to support homeless people, try to, give them some kind of housing and provide them services. Astronomical cost. So if you can stop it before it happens, why wouldn't you? And so Homestar has in the Boston area in Massachusetts, and now it's starting to be replicated around the country. They've developed a model where they work with public housing authorities in the cities, private landlords that are involved in Section 8 housing, and they look for people that are falling behind on their rent payments. And they intervene before it gets too far. The cost of taking somebody to housing court to kick them out of their housing is incredibly costly, right? So a private landlord has no incentive to kick somebody out. It's a legal process. It's very expensive. And so they're so thrilled to work with Homestar and take a little bit of money, help them get caught up on the rental payments, give some education on how to budget, how to spend their money, provide counseling and job training, right? Early, before things get too far. And so my wife and I are super passionate about this. You hear the stories of the people that, have gone through this process and how grateful they are and what it's mean for them and their children. You can't help but love it. So it's a great thing.
That's great. Well, where can people learn more about you and about Postalytics online?
Yes, sure. So as I mentioned, we follow this product-led growth model. So our website is a treasure trove of information about Postalytics, about direct mail marketing best practices, about automation and how it can help. And so hit us up at Postalytics.com. We've got a ton of great content, blog posts, case studies, lots of great information. Sign up for the free account right there. Try it out. It's free. You don't have to put a credit card in. There's none of that. Just give it a try. And so go to Postalytics.com, our website. That's the best place. We're also very active on LinkedIn. And so we spend a lot of time producing our content to go out to our LinkedIn site at Postalytics. I'll share that. So I'm active on LinkedIn as well. So you can hit me up, Dennis John Kelly on LinkedIn, at Postalytics on LinkedIn. So those are probably the best resources to get in touch.
Outstanding. And we'll make sure to link all of those in the show notes. Dennis, really enjoyed having you on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. Really appreciate it. It's been great talking with you today, and I hope the audience enjoys the episode.
Thanks again, Dennis, for coming on the show and sharing your journey and insights. There is a lot to love about taking an old industry and bringing it forward into the 21st century. Really smart way to connect with prospects and clients. And it's not crowded. That's an amazing thing. You can connect with Dennis and learn more about Postalytics at Postalytics.com. I'm not sure how to spell it. All links, highlights, resources, full show notes, everything you need is available at SaaSfuel.com. While you're over there, subscribe, follow us on YouTube. The channel is live. Everyone who subscribes this week gets a coffee mug that doubles as a Wi-Fi signal booster. Perfect for keeping both you and your internet connection energized. And speaking of energized, next time on our SaaS Fuel Expert Series, one of the most energetic people that I know, brand expert Bobby Gillespie. He's the founder and principal at Proper Design. They don't just build cool brands, they create full-on brand strategy and marketing that resonates. It's such a fun episode. You'll have to come check that out. It'll be on Thursday. And then 1 week from today, after Memorial Day, we have Melissa Kwan, co-founder and CEO of eWebinar. It's an automated webinar solution that combines pre-recorded video with real-time interactions and live chat to deliver an engaging experience. If you think you know webinars are so 10 years ago, think again. It's an amazing product and a founder that is doing things in an incredible, incredible way, building your business in a way that supports a lifestyle that's pretty amazing too. So I will see you next time, Thursday for Bobby G, and next Tuesday, Melissa Kwan, and have a happy Memorial Day. See you next time. And as always, enjoy the journey.
Thanks for listening to SaaS Fuel. Full show notes for each episode, which includes a summary, key takeaways, quotes, and any resources mentioned, are available at saasfuel.com. Be sure to follow and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're enjoying the content and getting value from these episodes, please leave us a rating and review at ratethispodcast.com/SaaSfuel. We'll be sure to read these out on future episodes.